Hello and welcome to another video of Star Wars Rebel Force. Today we are going to be reading Chapter 7. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm bringing us out of hyperdrive now, Han informed his passengers. We'll be right outside the Mutila system, so it should be smooth sailing from here on in. It's about time, Leia complained. If I have to be stuck here in this tin can with you for any longer, I'll scream. Stuck with me? Han thought in frustration. She was the one who'd been pestering him the whole trip. Check this, try this, have you thought of that? And on and on. The princess just didn't know how to keep her mouth shut. Feel free to get out here, Han retorted, gesturing to the gleaming strands of stars whipping past the ship. Say the word and I'll drop you right out of the hatch. You'd really do it, wouldn't you? Leia asked incredulously. You bet I would, sweetheart, Chewbacca growled. Oh, yes I would, Han insisted, and if you don't stop taking her side, you can go with her, you hairy fuzzball, Chewbacca yelled. Han rolled his eyes as he took the ship out of hyperdrive. Since when are you so sensitive, Chewie? I was just... Whoa! The ship shuddered. What's happening? Leia cried, almost tumbling into his lap. She caught herself just in time. Someone's shooting at us, Princess, in case you hadn't noticed. Han pulled the Falcon around, trying to get a glimpse of his attacker. The guy was on the right, on his tail. Han jerked the ship up, then hard to starboard, dodging another blast of laser fire. There's someone shooting at us, Luke cried, already scrambling down the tube that led to the ventral quad laser cannons. You don't say. Han accelerated, trying to get some distance from the attacker, who was a good shot. He took the Falcon into a screaming dive, then pulled up, hard, drawing level with the enemy. Gotcha, he shouted as a TIE fighter came into view. Kid, why aren't we blowing through Imperial slug brain out of the sky? Something's wrong. Even over the staticky comlink, the alarm in Luke's voice came through loud and clear. The weapon system's offline. We'll get it online. Han jerked his head at Chewie, but the Wookiee was already on his way, closely followed by R2-D2. Sir, might I suggest evasive action? C-3PO put in. Excellent suggestion, Han said through gritted teeth. He took them into a corkscrew dive. Wish I'd thought of that myself. Still, we must get the lasers back on, Captain Solo, C-3PO added. The bucket of bolts was just a fount of helpful advice. Otherwise, I'm afraid I estimate our odds at 7,336 to... What did I say about quoting me odds? Han increased the forward thrust. The ship bucked and shuddered as Imperial laser fire blasted their deflector shield. They were too close to the moons of Mutila to safely go into hyperdrive. But if he could get just a little room... What are you doing? Leia asked in alarm. Running away, Han snapped. Unless you still think that's the coward's way. No, running away is good, Leia said quickly. Let's go. But why can't we just go into hyper... Leia fell silent as the second ship dropped out of hyperdrive. Sorry for the noise, it was my chair. Company, Han said grimly. A rusted Praybird starfighter. No match for the Falcon, if the Falcon could shoot. He had to get out of there fast. Their shields couldn't take another direct hit, and if the deflector system failed too... Wait! Leia gripped his shoulder. Look! The new ship swooped towards the TIE. Laser fire lit up the sky. The fighter swung sharply to port, returning fire. It scored a direct hit on the Praybird. What's he doing? Han said, wondering what kind of nut was piloting the ship. That old ship can't take that kind of fire. The Praybird dodged the round and unleashed a laser blast of its own. The ships danced around each other, laser fire exploding on all sides. Han could do nothing but watch. He hated it. What's going on with those laser cannons? He shouted. This was his fight. No luck, Luke called back. The cannons are jammed, and even if we could get them working, we have no targeting capability. The whole system's gone haywire. Great, Han muttered. Just great. He swung the ship around and accelerated, heading straight for the TIE fighter. What are you doing? Leia asked, panic filling her voice. What happened to running away? Change of plans, Han said, pushing the ship faster. We don't have any weapons. Glad you've been paying attention. The TIE loomed in his sights, but he doesn't know that. The other ship is doing just fine. I don't know about you, Highness, but I fight my own battles. And how exactly were we supposed to fight without any weapons? The TIE fighter loomed into the view screen. They were almost on top of it. We'll figure it out when we... He's retreating, Leia exclaimed. Of course he is, Han said calmly, trying to disguise shock and relief. The prey bird took off after the fleeing TIE fighter, firing a single shot to its starboard solar array wing. The Imperial ship exploded. Han tensed, waiting for the prey bird to make a move. Sure, the other pilot had helped him out of a jam, but in his experience, people only helped you when they wanted something. Maybe this guy wanted his cargo, or his ship. How are we doing with those laser cannons? Han asked nervously. A transmission came in over the comlink. Corellian fighter, this is request assistance. Only a few clear words bubbled up through the storm of static. Damaged mine, and my power generator forested, not sure if I'd... Please send. The call cut off abruptly. They watched in horror as the ship belched a plume of black exhaust, then dipped precariously toward a nearby moon. The prey bird glowed orange with heat as it plummeted through the atmosphere, and then disappeared beneath the clouds. Leia's eyes widened with horror. We have to go after him. I thought the only thing that mattered was the mission, Princess, Han teased, quoting words she fired at him 100 times. She looked at him in disgust. He's saved us. Now he's our responsibility. Hey, no one asked for his help, Han grumbled, but he'd already set a course for the surface. That was the thing about Leia. She never understood when he was joking. It was almost like she wanted to think the worst of him. Sorry. So let her, he thought. Why should he care? He shouldn't. But he did. It took them almost an hour to find the crash site. Magnetic disturbances in the moon's atmosphere made it difficult to pick up the prey bird's distress beacon until they were right on top of it. But they finally found the ship, or what was left of it. The prey bird lay at the base of a jagged cliffside, smashed nearly to pieces. Leia caught her breath. Do you think he's... Well, I doubt he's having a tea party in there, Han said, keeping his voice light to cover his concern. No reason to upset the others, at least until there was a reason. But only one way to find out. The moon was uninhabited, and Han could see why. The air was dense and murky, rich with the scent of oxite. The bluish globe of Munus hung overhead, on the opposite side of the sky from the dim, jaundiced sun. Scrub brush littered the dusty ground, spotting the dirt-gray hills of rock and clay that stretched to the horizon. There was no movement or sound in the heavy air. The world seemed still and dead, except... There's no one inside, Luke reported, after examining the prey bird wreckage. Black scorch marks scraped across what was left of the hull. At least we know he's not dead. Not yet. Han pointed toward the large, inhuman tracks leading towards and then away from the ship, disappearing into the hills. A thin groove of dirt followed the footsteps, as if the creature had dragged something behind it. The groove was stained with a trail of blood. And that is all we have for Chapter 7. That was a quick chapter. So let's maybe do a little bit of tapping, yeah? And I know it's not the normal mic that we normally use, but it still works. I like this mic a lot. This was our first mic that we started out with. I remember there was a sale at Target, and I think originally this was like maybe $130 or something like that. For whatever reason, I don't know if they were getting new ones or this specific one had been there for too long, but it was like 40% off. So I thought, why not? This was right around the time I started thinking about making the YouTube channel. And I was like, could also use it for, like work and Zoom meetings and whatnot. So I thought win-win. I'd call it a good investment. And I'd say it fits the theme. It does the LED switch just like that guy. So, very cool, very cool. Well, like always, if you all enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Like always, I hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. And remember, stay hydrated, stay cool. I'll see you all in the next video.